Hey everyone, Naomi Dawn here with part 8 of BAMP 2018. Yes, we're on the final video though, and I would like to say at the beginning of this video, if the video gets too long, if the tutorial gets too long, I'm going to split it into 2 segments, okay? I can't say at the beginning of filming how long this is going to take. I have been trying to keep each video down to about 30 minutes each time. Some it's been quite easy, some it's been a little challenging, and I may have run over 30 minutes on a time or two. So yeah, if this gets too long, I will split it into 2 videos. Okay. One of the things we'll be covering today is putting all your pages together, so putting your binding holes in, putting your threading through the beads and the ribbon if you want to do that, and the other part, which is the main part, is the creation of your actual cover. So let's get on with the first step. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to put the holes into the pages. If you haven't already, then glue down all of your binding strips. I think I've done all of 9, just double checking, and if I've got any that I haven't, then I'll do them quickly. Yep, they're all stuck down. Okay. Now you're going to be using ribbon to connect your pages to your cover. I like to put 3 lots of ribbon. The reason being, I don't want the weight of the pages hanging off of the top of my page, because that's going to cause this to rip, or it could cause it to rip. I just feel it's a stronger connection, less likely to cause you problems in the long run if you put 3 holes. So I tend to have one near the top, one near the bottom, and one in the middle, and I'll show you how I do that. Now I will be using a Crocodile 2, and I've had this for years and years and years and years, and I love it. And I'll be using the bigger hole setting, which I'm hoping you can see is just 3/16 of an inch. It does do a smaller hole, which is 1/8 of an inch, but that's not going to dig enough. So that's the biggest size I can do on my Crocodile. Another tool you could use is a single hole punch. There's lots of different ones out there. They all look kind of different. This is just the one I've got. So this does different size holes. I think I got that from Aldi's, and I got another one with it that they punch holes. It doesn't matter what tool you use, just use what you're most comfortable, what you've got. So what I've done is I've got a piece of photocopy paper that I'd cut off of another project, and I've cut this to 6.5 inches, which is the height of my page. And to give it a bit of strength, I'm going to fold it roughly in half. And now I need to decide where the holes are going to go. So my binding strip is just over 1/2 inch. I'm going to go in 1/4 inch. So I hope this makes sense to you. I'm going to draw a line 1/4 inch from the edge of my piece of paper. You could do this with a bit of leftover cardstock, with a piece of cereal packet. It's up to you, it doesn't really matter. It's just a template. Just going to connect the dots. Okay. Come in a little bit. I want my first hole, just thinking, to be one inch from the top. You can't see because I haven't got the camera in the right place. Okay, so the first one's going to do 1 inch from the top, and I want the second hole to be 1 inch from the bottom, so that's at 5.5. And I'm not going to bother messing about with that, I'm just going to move the ruler. Okay, so you've got 4.5 inches, which means that centre one needs to be at 2.25. Okay, so I came in 1/4 inch. I put one hole 1 inch from the top of the page, another hole 1 inch from the bottom of the page, and another hole in halfway mark. Okay, I am now going to punch my holes. So the way I run it is I want the bottom of the hole to be on that line. I'll show you. So if you look, I hope you can see, the bottom edge of my hole punch is on that line. I don't want it crossing this line. And I'm going to do that with all 3 holes. That's now my template. And all I do is line that up with the edge of my binding strip. Let's come out again. So I line that up with the edge of my page. And then I punch a hole in the same place. So, lining the hole punch up with the hole I'd already created and punch through. Line it up with the hole I'd already created and punch through. Oops. You've got to find a comfortable position for your hand. I'm not used to doing this bit on camera. I'm just lining that up. As you can see, I've got one set of holes in my template, and I now have the holes in my binding strip where I want them. So don't use this page as a template to do the holes in the next page. I mean, you could, another alternative is this, which is, let me sit there for a second, to line that up, get your pencil and draw in your holes. And then punch through. I actually find this more difficult doing it on black card. To do it that way, it works better on light cards. I'm actually going to continue with my template. So we've now got all 6 pages with the holes punched in, all in the same place because I've used my template, or I've showed the other technique that I showed you where you could draw the through the template and then punch the holes. So I've got all my holes done. The next thing you are going to need is your ribbon, and we discussed this before. My suggestion was that you not go more than a centimetre, which is, sorry about the glare, about that wide. Or if you're working in inches, 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch are ideal, but I wouldn't go more than 1/2 inch. I think that's pushing it. Okay, So if you grab your ribbon and your beads, I'll show you the next part. So now that we've got all of the holes in the binding strips, the things that you will need is your pony beads, if you've decided to use that, your ribbon, a pair of scissors, and just in case you have any trouble with threading your ribbon through the pages or the beads, get yourself a tea light or a lighter. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start from the back page. I'm going to cut that to an angle. I'm actually going to burn that off just to stiffen it a bit, and I can cut that little bit off at the end. Go through the back page, pony bead, through the next page, add a bead, and just keep going until you've got all 6 pages on. And you don't have to put the pages into your album in the order that we made them. You can put them, oops, got 2 beads on there. You can put them in any order that you like. Once you've got all of your beads and your pages threaded on, work out roughly how much you want to go through the spine. So I'm going to leave that much. Okay, and that's what I'll be tying on the other side of the spine. And then you just rinse and repeat basically. Now what I'm doing here is I'm actually going to put both ends through so that I can thread each page in one hit. So I haven't cut it in the middle. I'll cut it after. Okay, so this is how mine looks now. I'm going to cut the ribbon so it's approximately the same length there. And cut that ribbon so that it's approximately the same length. So now we're going to start work on the cover, and as I'd said before, I'm using chipboard for mine, or grey board as we call it in the UK. This is 2mm thick and it measures 8 by 8 inches. Okay, and I have 3 pieces. One to make the front cover, one to make the back cover, and one for the spine. Now, the first thing you need to know about making your own mini albums is how thick to make your spine. Let me just show you something. I like my books to sit like this, so the covers are straight or they close in towards each other, and this is the spine end at this end. Okay, I don't like it when my albums sit like this once the photos are in, but that's a personal choice. There's nothing wrong with them sitting like that, more open once you've got everything in it. That is really a personal choice. It's just for me, I prefer if they stay parallel or the front covers go towards each other when the album's closed. Okay, so for this reason you need to know how wide your spine's going to be. Now what I've done is, if you measure the spine of your book once it's all put together, mine is 2 inches tall. And I'm going to add an extra ½ an inch for some wiggle room, so my spine will be 2½ inches. Oops, got 2 pieces there. You only need 1. Okay, so I'm going for 2½ inches. I don't draw my line all the way down. I've been doing this for a good 13 years. So I just put 2 marks and then I can cut down from there. But you need to do what works for you, so you might want to draw the line in. But this is okay for me. Make sure that you have a cutting mat. You don't want to be cutting into the surface of like your table, or I'm working at my kitchen counter. A nettle ruler is a must, and I recommend one of these type of knives where you can snap off the bits as they go blunt, because cutting chipboard will make your craft knife blunt. It took me a while to realise that, and I was buying the expensive craft blades, you know, you've just got the single little slim thing. Went through loads. So, pound shop I'd get a pack of 3 or a pack of 6 depending on what they've got going on for £1. So using a sharp blade, cut through your chipboard. And I now have an 8 by 2½ inch piece. Now I don't want my book to be 8 inches tall, I want my book to be 7 inches tall, so I'm actually going to cut an inch off the end. Do not use your trimmer to cut your chipboard. Even if it will go through, it will blunt your blade faster than anything else. And I've actually got a guillotine, which I bought just to cut in chipboard because I was cutting a lot, and it doesn't go through it, it goes through crooked for some reason. So this for me is my tried and tested method. If you've got another method for cutting chipboard, please let me know. I'd love to learn other ways of doing things, but for me this works. Okay, so I now have a spine that is 2½ wide and 7 long. So I'm going to find the centre of my spine, which is important as we go through, and I will actually be drawing a line this time. So the centre of your spine is 1¼ inches. Might help if I had my ruler the right way up. And the reason that I do this is so that I can centre the spine onto my wallpaper. And it also helps with putting my guide holes in. So now we made the template, and this hole's in the centre. I'm just going to find the middle of here. Just 3½ inches. Just drawing a line at 3½ inches. Every ninny maker that you meet has got their own way of making covers. This is just how I do it. Just try to decide how far in I want my... That'll do. So I don't want my holes right on the edge, so I'm going in a little bit, and I've got that little line there. Can you see? That's the centre line. I've got that going through the middle of my middle hole. I'm just going to draw where my hole should go, and this will all be covered when your album's finished, so don't worry about the pencil lines. And you come in a little bit this side, make sure it's centred. And these holes will now match up with what you did on your pages. So once again, I'm getting the crocodile out and I'm using it on, I'll get that in focus, 3/16 of an inch. I've had my crocodile for, I don't know, a long time. A very long time. It's been years and years and years, and it's still going strong. They're not the cheapest bit of equipment to buy, but I can get into the middle of 12 by 12 with this. It cuts through chipboard with absolutely no problems. I've cut through MDF using it, no problems. Slides through paper and card easily. So if you're looking for something for punching holes with two options, it also sets eyelets if you're doing eyelets. So you can make the hole for the eyelets and then set the eyelets. So it's a very useful tool. So that's my spine ready to go. The next thing we're going to do is cut these down. So as I've already said, I want this 7 inches tall. I need to decide how wide. I've gone for 7 inches because it's half an inch taller than the page, so I'm going to go 7 inches out that way as well, just to give a bit of space that you can't see. It gives me an inch of space here at the end. So I'm going to cut both of these pieces down to 7 by 7. In this videos I discussed with you the different materials you could use for making your album covers. Now if you're using cereal boxes, if you're using cardboard boxes, you need to cut them down to the same size and basically do the same as I've done. So if you're using cereal boxes, glue your layers together. Once all your layers are completely dry, cut them down so that you've got a piece that is 7 by 2.5 and two pieces that are 7 by 7. Same thing if you're using cardboard. If you're going to use single walled, because we discussed single wall and double walled. For single walled, just cut it down to these sizes, as I said, 2.5 and 7.5, 7 by 7. And if you're using double walled, still cut to the same size, but you need to, like I said, single walls, all of your zigzags will go that way. If you're going to put two layers together, then you need to stick them like that, so to speak. So your zigzags are going in two directions. So if you saw the bonus video, that will make sense. Okay, so I'm going to clear the decks now and get the wallpaper out.